At the outset, I would like to thank Principal Sir, your management, and you all students who has given us opportunity. Being a Rotarian, we are conducting this program since last 5 to 6 years. And since last 2 years, we couldn't conduct just because of COVID. You might have heard some persons from your family, they might have suffered also from COVID. And because of these 2 years, because of this COVID, since last 2 years, we couldn't conduct this program. But this year, we thought it should be conducted. Now, what is this childhood obesity? In brief, Madam has already told you, it's an issue, it's a burning issue actually. Why it's a burning issue? Because there are certain consequences of this childhood obesity or overweight in future. And we will have to prevent those consequences. So what are those consequences? In single words, she has already told there are certain chronic diseases. Now in biology, in science, you might have heard there are two types of diseases. One is a communicable one and second one is a non-communicable, or which is also called as chronic disease. Now for communicable diseases, there are vaccines. Now I will ask you a question. How many of you have taken COVID vaccine? See, everyone. Everyone has taken this vaccine. Why? Just to prevent the COVID, just to prevent the corona. Now this COVID or corona is a communicable disease. We have vaccines for this communicable disease, but we don't have any vaccine for non-communicable disease or chronic disease like diabetes as well as hypertension. So what we can do is, we can prevent those. We can prevent those by just modifying our lifestyle. And if you modify your lifestyle, definitely you can prevent those non-communicable diseases or chronic diseases. And that is why we are conducting this program, because obesity or overweight is one of the factor, one of the cause for that chronic diseases. So what we are going to see in this session, in short, I will tell you, these are the objectives. First one, the definition of health, definition of obesity or overweight. Second one, what are the causes of obesity? Third one, what are the consequences of obesity? If there is a child who is obese, what will be the consequences in future? This is not for fearing you, but this is just making you aware that these are the probable consequences of obesity. And lastly, we can prevent that obesity, but how we can prevent that obesity? How obesity can be prevented? So we'll see in this session, first, what is the definition of health? Second one, what are the causes of obesity? Third one, what are the consequences? And lastly, if there is obesity, whether we can prevent or whether we can treat that obesity. Now this is a definition of health. Anybody knows what is health? One fine day, suppose I wake up and I don't have fever. Does it mean I am healthy? No. Health means by WHO. WHO is World Health Organization. It states that a person is said to be healthy if he is physically fit, if he is mentally fit, if he is socially fit. She or he, both. If a person is mentally, physically as well as socially fit, healthy, then and then only you can say that person is a healthy. Just absence of disease is not healthy. And this definition decides that if you are obese, if you are overweight, there are certain consequences. That means also you are not healthy. So healthy means mentally you should be healthy, socially you should be healthy, as well as physically also you should be healthy. It's not just absence of the disease. That is what the definition of health is. Now see, most of the parents, they will say, your mother or father, माझा मुलगा खूप सुदृढ आहे, माझा मुलगा खूप सशक्त आहे, माझी मुलगी खूप सशक्त आहे. But fatness is not fitness. Fatness doesn't mean you are fit. So mind it well, fatness means you are not healthy. If you are overweight, if you are obese, you are not fit, you are not healthy. Then what is the definition of obesity? We have seen definition of health. It's a well-being or well-sense mentally, socially as well as physically. But what is overweight? What is obesity? Obesity is nothing but the excessive or abnormal accumulation of fat. If there is an excessive or abnormal accumulation of fat, that means there is overweight, that means there is a obesity. And what happens if there is an excessive accumulation of abnormal fat? Then it will have a hampering or it will have impact on your health. And that is why this issue is very important one, whether it's a overweight, whether it's a obesity. So by definition, obesity or overweight is nothing but the excessive accumulation of the fat inside the human being, and it affects the health of that particular person. Now, most of the students, most of the persons, when I do ask history to the patients, they say, "Kya kare sir? Family mein obesity hai, and because of that I am also obese. My father is obese, because of that I am obese. My mother is obese, my grandmother was obese, and because of that I am obese." It's not like that. There's a medical quote. What it states, why there is obesity in your family? Because obesity doesn't run your family. Nobody runs in your family, and because of that there is obesity. So physical activity has to be there. You will have to run, you will have to exercise regularly so that there won't be overweight, so that there won't be obesity. Means, even though you have a family history, even though in your family there are overweight persons, there are obese persons, you can prevent that also. What you will have to do is, you will have to increase your physical activity. Now these are the personalities you might be knowing. Who are they? Just guess. One is Anil Ambani, very good. He is an entrepreneur. Second one, Robin Uttappa, very good. He is a wicket keeper. He is a cricketer. Third one, he is a son of Mukesh Ambani. And fourth one, girls, you must know him. He is a star from Bollywood. Arjun Kapoor. He is Arjun Kapoor. Now, why I am showing these figures? Because during childhood, they were obese. And look at them now. They are fit. They are healthy. Means, we can treat obesity. We can treat overweight also. How? We can manage that also. How? By just modifying the lifestyle. They have modified their lifestyle. You might have heard the story of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. I have been told in Marathi, so I will tell this story in Marathi only. Hope everybody understands Marathi. Okay. बाळ गंगाधर टिळकांनी 1 वर्ष हे फक्त कॉलेजचं आपली हेल्थ बिल्ड करण्यासाठी घालवलं होतं. म्हणजे थोडक्यात त्यांनी 1 वर्ष कॉलेजचं बंक केलं फक्त स्वतःची हेल्थ इम्प्रूव्ह करण्यासाठी म्हणून. ऑफकोर्स ही युजेस दॅट ऑर ही युटिलायझेस दॅट फॉर फायटिंग अगेन्स्ट ब्रिटिश रूरल्स. बट ही डेव्हलप्ड हिज हेल्थ, ही बिल्ट हिज हेल्थ, and he knows, or he was knowing rather what is the importance of health. तशाच प्रकारे you should also build your health, you should also develop or improve your health. So like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, I won't say bunk your classes, bunk your school, but you should increase your physical activity, you should control your diet, you should have balance between these two, that is diet as well as exercise. Definitely if you are obese, if you are overweight, you can prevent that, you can manage that. So these are the 4 personalities. Anil Ambani, I will tell you that story of Anil Ambani. Nowadays, if you see, his weight is 80 to 90 kgs. Previously, he was more than 100 kgs. He was 110 kg. Nowadays, he runs every marathon. Every marathon means marathon you will have to run 42 kilometers. Full marathon is 42 kilometers. So every year, this Anil Ambani, he runs marathon that is of 42 kilometers. Look at his health. He is healthy now. But previously, his weight was more than 100 kgs. So even though we have obesity, we are overweight, we can manage that also. Now the question will be, how we can say that a particular person or a particular child or a particular student is obese or overweight? Is there any measurement? Do you know any measurement? Very good, very good. Who said? Sir, tela pen dya. It's a gift from Rotary. He has answered correct question. Clap for him. Really, sir, RNLS students are really brilliant. Because I was asking this question for each and every school in Latur, nobody answered. The answer came from only RNLS. So BMI is the score by which you can conclude the person is overweight or obese or the properly weighed. Now what is this BMI? It's a body mass index. Now this is a homework for you. I know you are in a 10th class and these 10th, 11th and 12th, it's really career building classes. But still, I will give you homework. This is a homework for you. You can calculate your BMI. You can calculate your friend's BMI. You can calculate your relative's BMI also. And if that BMI is more than 85th percentile or 95th percentile, I will show you next slide. There is a road of health. There is a graph by which you can see whether you are overweight, whether you are obese or whether you are malnourished. So how to calculate this BMI? You should know your weight in kgs and you should know your height in meters. It's just a calculation. You will have to divide weight by meter, by height. Means weight in kgs by height in meter square will give you BMI. And if your BMI is below 18 and more than 22, below 18 is malnourished or malnutrited, and above 22 or 23, it means you are overweight or you are obese. Now this is a graph. You might have learned in mathematics, graph. X-axis, Y-axis. On X-axis they have given the years, age in years, 2 to 20. And if you see the green colored, that is the road for health. Now you are all in 10th standard. So your age will be 15 to 16, I guess. So for 15 to 16 years, your BMI should be 18 to 20 or maximum 22. If it is beyond 22, you are overweight or you are obese. So start managing that overweight or obesity right now. And how we can manage? Just by modifying the lifestyle. So calculate BMI. This is homework for you. Now what are the causes of this obesity? Why there is obesity? Why certain person they are overweight? This is just because of imbalance between diet and exercise. See, 95% of the chronic diseases. Chronic diseases means you might have heard name of diabetes. You might have heard the name of hypertension, or it is, in a layman's language it is called as BP. Your grandfather or grandmother might be receiving certain tablets or medicines for these diseases. Now these diseases are called as chronic diseases, or in medical term it is called as noncommunicable diseases. Now these diseases are just because of the modification of lifestyle. And modification of lifestyle, or rather lifestyle, has two arms. One is a diet and second one is the exercise. If there is an imbalance between these two, that is diet and exercise, then definitely there is a risk of the non-communicable diseases or the chronic diseases. So most of the chronic diseases has one reason, that is lifestyle, modification of lifestyle, and that too imbalance between diet and exercise. And if there is an imbalance between diet and exercise, definitely there will be obesity or overweight. Now these are the eating patterns nowadays. We are eating more of junk food. We are eating more of fast food. Hardly we are exercising. We are on laptops. We are on mobiles. Hardly we are exercising. Hardly we are playing games. And third thing, everyone says I have a stress. Everyone, including students, teachers, doctors, lawyers. Everyone says, engineers, कि I have a stress. But there are certain consequences of this. If you eat junk food, if you eat fast food, there is a risk of overweight, there is a risk of obesity. Second thing, if there is a stress, then again there will be risk of chronic diseases. And if you are not exercising, if you are lagging in exercise, definitely there will be risk of chronic diseases. So these are the 2-3 factors which causes chronic diseases. And we can prevent that. You can avoid junk foods, you can have exercise regularly, and you can manage stress even, and you can prevent various chronic diseases. Most of the time we are on laptops, we are on mobiles. So cut down that time. And if you cut down that time, definitely you can manage the stress and you can exercise also. Now this is very important slide. Obesity is like a vicious cycle. Suppose a normal child is there, and if he or she is not exercising and continuously taking junk food, continuously consuming junk food or fast food, then what will happen? That child will be overweight. That is what is called as mild obesity. But again, if you are continuing the junk food and fast food, you are not exercising, then that child will become moderately obese and again severely obese. But you can be a normal child just by modifying the lifestyle. That means avoiding the fast food or junk food as well as exercising regularly. So these two arms are very important one. The first one is the diet and second one is the exercise. Diet is very important one. You should have a nutritious, balanced diet and you should exercise regularly. If you keep balance between these two, that is diet and exercise, you won't be overweight, you won't be obese, and you will be healthy even. If there is obesity, if there is overweight, what's the big deal? Suppose a student may ask me question. Okay, sir, you are saying calculate BMI. I have calculated my BMI. It's more than 23. I am overweight, or in your definition, it's obese. Okay. So what's the big deal? What will happen? This will happen if you have obesity, if you are overweight. You might have learned various systems in your science, in your biology. Human being is made up of various systems. Like central nervous system we have, cardiovascular system we have locomotor system, we have excretory system, we have endocrine system. All these systems comprises the human being. What is the basic unit of a human being? Cell. Very good. So cell, if they connect, they form tissue. If tissue they connect, they form, very good. If all organs they connect, they form organic system. And if organic systems all they unite, then they form a human being. They form a body. So we have various systems in our body, and this obesity affects each and every system. Whether it's a cardiovascular system, whether it's a respiratory system, whether it's an endocrine system, whether it's a nervous system. So it's a big deal actually. It's a big issue. If the child is overweight, if the child is obese, then it will affect each and every system of that particular child. And that is why this is important one. Let us prevent this obesity then. We can prevent that. It's very easy. But it's not that much easy. It's very easy, but to do, it's not that much easy. Why? Because we will have to cut down the junk food or fast food. We will have to eat healthy, nutritious as well as balanced food. And lastly, we will have to increase our activity or physical activity. And we will have to manage the stress. So how we can do that? In next slides, we will see that. But before that, for your curricular life, for your extracurricular life, 3 C's are very important one. Which are those? The first one is choice. Second one is a chance. And third one is a change. Now you are in a 10th standard. After that you will go in 11th and 12th. Then you will pursue career in various fields. Now for those also, for that field also, for those fields also, these 3 C's are very important one. First one is a choice. Make a choice to take a chance. Otherwise, you will not change your life. So these 3 C's are very important one, whether it's a curriculum or extracurricular life. And same thing is true regarding this prevention of obesity or exercising or managing a stress. You will have to make a choice that yes, I will be healthy henceforth. So that there will be chance of being healthy. And if you don't make a choice, if you don't take a chance, then nobody will going to change your life. You will be unhealthy. You will be obese. You will be overweight. Now since last 10 to 15 minutes, I am saying that diet and exercise has to be balanced. But what is diet? I am not telling you. So this is a definition of balanced diet, nutritious diet. This already you know. You have learned this in a science. We require carbohydrates, we require proteins, we require fats, we require vitamins, we require minerals. But you will have to include all those things in a single diet, and that diet is called as balanced or nutritious diet. Now if you compare it with the junk food or fast food will not give you these nutritious things. And that is why the definition of balanced diet is it should contain carbohydrates, proteins as well as fats in appropriate amounts. This is very important one. And besides that, it should also include minerals as well as vitamins. So if you include all those things, definitely it will be balanced diet. And that's why I say the dabba or tiffin, what your mother gives, that is the best balanced diet. If she is giving chapati and roti and dal or rice. If your mother is giving vada pav, then that is not a nutritious diet, that is not a balanced diet. So balanced diet is what we eat regularly in a dinner or in a lunch. Now why there is a requirement of this carbohydrate, proteins and fats? This is just a revision for you. You might be knowing. Carbohydrates is a major content of our diet and it gives an energy. Carbohydrate is required for energy. If there are no carbohydrates in your diet, then you won't get energy. And that is why we give rice, we take rice, we take jawar, we take all those which contains the carbohydrates, which gives you actually energy. So carbohydrates has to be there. Second thing, proteins has to be there. Why there is a requirement of proteins? Because it will build your tissue. It will help in your defense mechanism. This is very important one. And that is why proteins are very important one. Every dal contains proteins. So you will have to include in your diet dal. That is why? Because it will provide you protein and protein will build your tissues, protein will build your body. And not only that, it will help you in a defense mechanism also. And that is why this protein is very important one. It also helps you in wear and tear also. And lastly, fat. Fat content should be little one. But fat is also required for a body. So there has to be appropriate amount of the fat, appropriate amount of the carbohydrates, appropriate amount of the proteins also. And besides that, there has to be inclusion of vegetables as well as fruits, which will give you certain minerals, which will give you certain vitamins. So with the lunch either or with the dinner, you should take leafy vegetables as well as fruits. Now this is what is called as balanced diet. So if you consider your dish, if you consider your plate, how your plate should be? Your plate should be like this. It's a plate principle of diet. It states that majority of the things should be vegetables as well as fruits. 1/4 will be whole grains, which will provide you carbohydrates as well as fats. Why fats? Because for cooking, we require oil. So whatever oil required for cooking, that is more than sufficient. You should not add on oil. So that is what you will get the energy. From that you will get energy. And you should have the healthy protein also. Besides that, you should take certain liquids also. So this is a plate principle of the healthy diet. Most of the portion should be from vegetables as well as fruits. Maximum portion should be from proteins and 1/4 of carbohydrates as well as the fats. Now the question is, what is junk food? What is fast food? What is fast food? What do you mean by fast food? We have seen definition of balanced food. It's a nutritious one. It provides all the ingredients, that is carbohydrates, proteins as well as fats and the vitamins and minerals. But what is fast food and why it is called as fast food? Why not slow food? Yes? Yes. His answer is why it is called as fast food, because it's easily made or fastly made, and second one, it provides only fat. Anybody? Fast food. Why it is called as junk food, fast food? Okay, what are the examples of fast food or junk food? Vada pav, samosa, burger, pizza, whatever we eat, that is a fast food. See, fast food, why it is called as fast food? Because it will give you fast energy. Energy means calories. And it will increase your weight also. It's not nutritious. It is not having any nutritious value. And that is why it is called as fast food. So it will give you a fast energy. It will give you a fast calories, more of calories, but it is not having nutritious value. And that is why cool drinks are fast foods. Vada pav, pizza, burger, all these things are fast food. They will give you immediate energy, immediate calories, but they won't have any of the nutritious value. So you should avoid those fast foods, because the consequences of that fast food is overweight or obesity. And that is why you should avoid these fast foods. How we can reduce the risk of obesity? Suppose I am healthy, I am not overweight, I am not obese also, but there is a risk of obesity, there is a risk of overweight. How? If I won't, if I take regularly junk food or fast food, even though my family doesn't have any obese person, still there is a risk. If I won't exercise, if I don't take properly balanced diet. So how we can prevent, how we can reduce the risk of obesity? Eat 5+ fruits as well as vegetables a day. Daily you should eat fruits as well as vegetables. This is a very important one. Second one, do at least 30 minutes of exercise, 30 minutes of game regularly or daily. And that is why every day I think you must be having a class of sports. You must be having. No. Okay. So I request principal sir, daily avoid junk foods. This is a very important one. Avoid fast foods. You should avoid fast food because it will give you energy. It will just give you calories. And lastly, only eat when you are hungry. This is a very important one. Because what happens? Most of the times in stress or most of the times if you are not having any entertainment, you start eating. So that will increase the calories. That will increase your weight also. Now what is the definition of game? This is a question actually. This was a question for you. The definition for game. Game is G-A-M-E. G means go on the ground and move your body. Only going on the ground is not playing a game. You will have to shake your body. You will have to move your body. And lastly, E is for enjoy. You should enjoy that game. So game doesn't mean video game. Game doesn't mean games in a mobile or laptops. Game means you should go on the ground. You should move your body and you should enjoy that play. You should enjoy that game. That is what is called as game. That is the definition of game. So when anybody asks you whether you are playing game or not, you should say, yes, I am going on the ground. I am moving my body as well as I am enjoying that play or game. You must be learning mathematics in your classes. The teachers must have told you what is addition, what is subtraction, what is deletion and what is division. This is a mathematics of healthy life. What is that? You should add healthy eating habits. That means you should take balanced, nutritious food. You should avoid junk food. And exercise regularly. So that is the addition has to be there in your life. Second thing, there has to be subtraction or deletion of what? Of fast food as well as junk food. So there is addition. There should be addition of balanced food as well as exercise. There has to be balance between these two, that is diet and exercise. Second one, there should be subtraction or deletion of the fast food or junk food. Third thing, there has to be division of the timing. Why there is a requirement of division of timing? To manage the stress. You can manage the stress and this is how also you can reduce the risk of obesity, overweight as well as certain chronic diseases. And if you do these mathematics, definitely there will be multiplication of improved healthy life. So this is the mathematics of the healthy life. There is a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. What he says, health is wealth. It's not gold, it's not silver, it's not money, which is a wealth. Actually, health is the wealth. And that is why I have told you the story of Bal Gangadhar Tilak also. He also says, or he was also telling everybody that health is a wealth. Now this is a cartoon. You must have seen this. Who is he? Popeye. And second one is? Who is second one? He's a villain. Now why I have shown this slide? Look at the stature of Popeye and look at the stature of villain. Popeye looks very thin. He is very lean and thin. But still, if you see each and every episode of Popeye, Popeye defeats that villain. Villain is mighty, villain is nasty, villain is very healthy. But still, Popeye defeats that villain. How? By eating spinach. And spinach is a vegetable. It's a balanced, nutritious diet. So if you take balanced, nutritious diet, you can defeat any of the villain. I will conclude this session with this saying of Swami Vivekananda. What he says, anything which weakens you mentally, physically, reject that thing considering that thing as a poison. Anything which weakens you mentally as well as physically, consider that thing as a poison and reject it. Thank you.